Dawson Richard here once again for another 49ers video. Usually at this part of the week is my what did the 49ers learn about themselves, right? And I think really it's hard to do one this week. It's hard to do that type of video when you're facing a team like the Seahawks that aren't that good. Basically a blowout till a missed special teams play. So, and plus, Jimmy Garoppolo himself says he came in there not really expecting the game plan, play loose, all that type of stuff. That's going to be different come next game, right? So there has to be something to fill this hole, right? And I guess that this is the perfect time to talk. This Kyle Shanahan, Trey Lance dilemma, right? Or situation, right? Because I think it's a complex situation, right? That deserves its own video of a 10-minute variety, right? Or I've seen some that are 20 minutes, right? I think my take on this all really, right? And if you don't know, it's basically this: can you blame Kyle Shanahan for what happened to Trey Lance, or how much blame can you put on Kyle Shanahan for this Trey Lance injury, right? And I think you really can't blame him, right? Like, it goes like this, right, in my opinion, right? Let's go over it, right? The NFL is a tough thing, right? Very tough place. Any routine play can turn into an injury no matter what, right? And I think the 49ers know this very well, these injury problems, right? A good example of this is, right, Jeff Wilson Jr. once injured himself from standing up from a chair. So to say injuries are very abnormal in the NFL most of the time, right, is a true statement, right? You tackle someone wrong, you stand up wrong, you run wrong, honestly, right? You make a wrong cut, you can get injured yourself, pull a hamstring, tore an ACL, break an ankle, all that type of stuff, right? So the play itself, right? There's nothing wrong with it, right? It makes sense that hey, you're taking a risk every time you run, right? But the question is, why do these runs, right? That's probably the bigger main point people make here. Why do these runs? And I think it's a tightrope of many things Kyle Shanahan has to do, right? Very simple. He has to win games, right? That's one of the most important things, right? He has the roster to win games, get to the NFC Championship. So he has to do it. He has to do what is best for him to win football games. And that's very understandable, right? And the second thing is he has to develop Trey Lance, right? He has to develop his point guard, the leader of his offense. If your leader ain't there, you don't win games. We have seen this with Jimmy Garoppolo. When he's out, they lose because the quality of his backups aren't there. So you have to develop Lance to be on the level of Garoppolo or better, right? He can just be an athletic Kirk Cousins for all I care. If that's what Kyle Shanahan wants from Trey Lance, that's what he's going to need to get, right? But the biggest problem with development Trey Lance right now is that he is a 22-year-old quarterback, right? Not many 22-year-old quarterbacks play in the league, right? Because just from a development stance, they're probably still in college. And that's what makes Trey Lance's career interesting. He only had 1 year in college before he opted out to go to the NFL draft. That is very much a raw prospect, right? So Kyle Shanahan has the difficult task of trying to develop Trey Lance and win games. And Kyle Shanahan does what he does best. He goes to the strengths of his quarterback, right? And currently the strengths of his quarterback, right, is running the ball and deep shots, right? And you can't see that in week 1 for the deep shots because you can't throw a freaking ball in that type of weather. But week 2, you're starting to see this, right? You're starting to see him going to these strengths, right? The running you could see in week 1, but week 2, right? Running these passes, right? The thing with Kyle Shanahan is he scripts the first 20-something plays, right? When Jimmy Garoppolo came in, they were still in pistol formation. You're not in pistol formation for Jimmy Garoppolo, right? So he understands what it takes to develop Trey Lance, right? And you may ask yourself, well, why is running part of the development of Trey Lance, right? Because with Kyle Shanahan, right? Let's bring back up one point. That's how he thinks he can win games, right? And develop Trey Lance. That's the important part, right? There are certain parts of Trey Lance's game he cannot confidently do right now. He can't do the yak offense, right? That there's certain throws in this offense that should be a given, right? That a quarterback can just, just instantly throw it, right? And bada bing, bada boom, boom, guy catches it and it's there. Trey Lance has that problem, right? Some of these, as they say, the layups, right, weren't being hit by Trey Lance. So Kyle Shanahan had that problem, right? You have a quarterback that can't hit layups, so you can hit deep shots, right? So most of the time, right, in these scenarios where you're like 3rd and 8 and trying to get yards, the best way for Kyle Shanahan, in his opinion, to get yards is for Trey Lance to run. And the problem with Trey Lance is this, right? Isn't the problem... Part of the problem is with the running ability of Trey Lance, right? It's his development, right? 22-year-old young guy, right? He is not a comfortable runner at the age of 22, right? I think no one is, right? At that age. I am a 19-year-old, right? I'm not comfortable doing anything right now. I am not gonna lie to you. So imagine a guy that's older than me, a few years older than me, trying to handle the NFL, right? That is just a mess and a half, right? So I understand, right, that some of the times you see Kyle Shanahan call these run plays, you're like, dang, you're getting Trey Lance hit, right? But the thing is, every quarterback in the league that runs has that threat, right, of running, right? And sure, so and you may ask, well, why is it most of the time counter bash? Why is it QB power, right? Why is it these option plays between the tackles, right? Well, it's the type of runner Trey Lance is, right? He is a slow runner, right? He is that slow runner, right? He had the only reason why he can't go to the edge, right, is because he isn't fast enough to get away from defenders by that run. There was even a play last year where we actually saw this. He tried to run to the edge, but it was basically failed conversion. So yes, if the best way for Trey Lance to run is through the tackles, then you're running through these tackles, you're running through the guards, you're running through the O-line. And there are holes in this offense, right, that are made when Trey Lance runs, and it's just a very horrible thing for Trey Lance to get injured, right? I think that is the major thing about this, right? Not blame Kyle Shanahan. The NFL is a mess of an injury-filled league, and we're trying to blame Kyle Shanahan because of that, right? And the way Trey Lance got injured, that is so very freaking weird, right? Trey didn't even know he was injured till he stood up. Like, that's the insane part about it. And giving out blame is a big thing right now, right? And I think this is just very much a hardest term used, right? Water and honey takes, right? When you want to tell your sports take, right, you want to be slow and methodical with it. Actually put your thoughts into it. Because you want to drip like honey, right? You want the slow, methodical take that is very much thought out, right? While with water, right, it's a fast drop, right? There's a fast drop in your take, right? That doesn't have much thought into it. You just putting blame on the first guy that you can ever put blame on, which is the head coach who called the play, right? Who scripted the first 20-something plays, right? And I think that's a bit unfair, right? You're asking Kyle Shanahan, right, to win with this team, win with these guys who are starting to get up there in age, while trying to develop the kid. He's going to do whatever is necessary to win a football game and go with the strength of this quarterbacks, right? That's the thing about it. We call Kyle Shanahan a quarterback whisperer because he knows what the quarterback can do in his offense, right? He tailors the offense that he built around the quarterback, right? Certain parts of the playbook are brought in and out depending on who is the quarterback. So yes, it is a bit weird that, hey, why are we running power and bash and all these running options through the tackles? Well, it's the best option for Trey Lance's development. We need trial by fire. This is the best trial by fire we can get out of Trey Lance, right? And if he stayed in for the entirety of the scripted plays, mind you, right, we will see him in the pistol. We will see him throw these balls, and they get there and to these open guys, and not ask, dang, why was it only with Garoppolo? But I think the biggest point that we're all missing with this talk with Kyle Shanahan and Trey Lance is this. Trey Lance is missing out a year of development. Next year, he is going to have to deal with all this talk once again. No consecutive games played for Trey Lance since college. That is insane for a quarterback. So it's just a very sad situation, and I understand you feel like you gotta blame somebody for it. I don't feel like blaming anyone for it. It's the NFL. It happens, and just horrible situation here with the 49ers, right? I know, I get it, right? We are still Super Bowl or bust inbound because we are grateful that the Indianapolis Colts, the Cleveland Browns, and name any other team that was linked to Jimmy Garoppolo didn't want to get Jimmy Garoppolo until he was a free agent. But it's just a sad case scenario for your potential franchise, right? The guy who's supposed to eventually lead to the next coming of a dynasty or at least one Super Bowl run that is successful. So I think that should be the bigger point about this, right? Not the blame that goes around for it, but just how sad it is that Trey Lance has to go for another year of the media's narratives. His development is messed up, all that type of stuff. That's the most important part of this. But that will be it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's any other 49ers news that breaks during this week, I am going to cover it. So if you did enjoy this video, like, comment, and subscribe. We are at 96 subscribers, right? That is 4 away from 100. A number I haven't even thought of since, I don't know when, since I've done this content creation stuff. So yeah, if you feel like helping me out there, help a brother out. If you've watched this full video and you didn't think like subscribing, that's a bit of a weird thing, you're not gonna lie. But yeah, more content's on the way in the form of LSU 49ers, shorts, all that type of stuff. So if you have enjoyed this content, then subscribe. But until then, this has been Dawson Richard, and I will see you guys next time.